I'm buzzing. I know it's been a long time coming and it's finally done, so I'm happy to be here, really happy. It's been really good. I was looking forward to training. I spoke to Paul yesterday before training, and then so I met all the boys today, and really good bunch of lads, good team spirit, and I just look forward to coming in, hopefully adding to the team morale and team spirit. Yeah, so I was looking to go out on loan. I feel like I've been ready for the last year or so. I picked up a few injuries, unfortunately, last season. But when this opportunity came around, I was so excited, especially for a club like Ipswich as well. Such a big club. Really buzzing, looking forward to getting started.
He said the immortal words. Big club like Ipswich. Welcome in again, my friends, and you are my friends, and this is your bonus Talking Town episode. Transfer in. Like an RK out of nowhere, shock horror, Town have signed somebody, and it's a young player from Arsenal on a season-long loan. He was given the freedom of Portman Road only a couple of weeks ago, and we'll get into that very shortly. I've got a little highlights package courtesy of ITFC's Twitter account, and that interview there with Mark McGuiness, the Arsenal player, is courtesy of ITFC's iFollow account, and you can watch the whole interview. There's a lot more than that in its entirety by going to itfc.co.uk/iFollow, and it's all there for you. But we really do thank the guys at Portman Road and Ipswich Town for allowing us to use that. So I'm joined, as always, by my two cohorts. I'll bring in Mr. Phillips first of all. Matt, how we doing?
How you doing? You all okay?
Very well. Thank you for assembling at this short notice for this emergency podcast. Our famous emergency podcast. And of course, a Talking Town evening wouldn't be complete without the somewhat mad rumblings, or ramblings rather, of one Cruncher who is live on location.
We're on the road. FA Cup tonight, boys.
Ashley Bell has just picked out something I hadn't even heard. He said the immortal words, "I struggled with injuries last year."
He'll fit right in.
He certainly will. So, for those that are unaware, I'll just mute you for a second, Cruncher. For those that are unaware, we have signed an Arsenal defender, Mark McGuiness, on a season-long loan. Why is my first question. Who wants to tackle that one? Why have we signed him?
Well, come out of the blue, didn't it?
We can only presume. Well, I mean, look, Idris has gone, hasn't he? So he's come out of the squad, which may have enabled Mark McGuiness to come in. But then, as Richard rightly said on our WhatsApp earlier, we've now got an abundance of defenders. So I can only think someone else is going to be going. This
is it. I sent you a WhatsApp earlier, didn't I, guys? And it had Indaba, Wilson, Chambers. Stop me if I'm
Wilson, Indaba, Chambers, Donatian, Ward, Kenlock, then KBY, Wolfenden, and Tommy Smith 2.0. A fair few names there, isn't there?
There's got to be injuries, Matt, here for Wolfie or Vincent Young. Do you reckon?
Well, you made me suddenly think that when you were talking about Kane Vincent Young to me earlier, he said number 2 printed his shirt, the traditional right back slot, right? So maybe, I don't know, it's a funny one. I feel like maybe, is Wilson going to be let go as a transfer to someone else?
I wouldn't have thought he'd be going, would he? He's been playing decent, hasn't he?
He has been playing decent. I think it's probably a Kane Vincent Young situation. I'll just mute you there while the PA behind you tells us how many people have attended. Hawks think KVY's injury is worse than first thought. Johnny Duncan, welcome in, Johnny. I would love your thoughts. KV's injury more severe. Chamberlain not seen as centre back anymore. Well, I've spoken to a few Arsenal fans this evening, gathered a few thoughts, and effectively, it's the Tony Adams. He's the next coming of Tony Adams. They rate him that highly, these Arsenal fans, that they see him as the next leader. They see him as the next centre half. They really have got this bright future for him. So number 2 is a bit of a red herring, right? Because you think he's a right back, but he's not going to play at right back. We don't think.
No, he's been a centre half all of his career in the Arsenal academy. He has played defensive midfield on a couple of occasions.
Under 19s Republic of Ireland. So
yeah. So the fact he's played defensive midfield shows he's comfortable with the ball. I think that was one of the standout moments from the EFL Trophy, wasn't it, Rich? He was the name that everyone was talking about. You mentioned
he did play.
I don't remember his name. You mentioned
some guy tweeted me on Twitter after that game saying we should sign him, and I sort of laughed it off. So obviously he's tweeted me tonight because I said we've got our own young centre back in Corey and Darber, haven't we?
Yeah, that was the game where he hurt his leg. Is that where he got?
Maybe they're going to send. it seems a bit weird because why would you get a young defender in when you've got your own? Unless you're loaning him out. Unless you're loaning him out for the season, I don't really know.
Strange, isn't it? But Corey's hasn't looked out of place, has he? When he played against Spurs.
No, I thought he's done well. I thought he's done all right.
Yeah, that's what confused me a little bit. That's why that's all I said for like 20 minutes to you guys on WhatsApp was, why? Why? Because, Corey and Dub is our player. So we've got a lot invested in him in terms of already training the guy, academy, etc., etc. It's nice to have a player like this, a Rolls Royce type centre half.
Yeah.
But he's not going to come here next year, period. So it's a 1-year rental deal. It's just a bit confusing from my point of view. I'm looking to see if we've got Adam Flatt says it all. He's nicked one of my sayings there. The best ability is availability. Crunchy, just park yourself there for a second because I'm really excited to bring this to you guys. We are really, really honoured and excited to have Mr. Luke Penning back with us. Luke, it is so good to see you. It is so good to be talking about Ipswich Town with you. Tell me about Mark McGuiness.
So from what I'm aware of anyway, as you've kind of spoken about, he's a 19-year-old centre defender, Republic of Ireland, I think, international. From what I was reading, he was actually brought up to the first team picture under Freddie Ljungberg. And as he said in his interview, he played a lot of the pre-season games with Arsenal. I think he actually scored a bullet header against MK Dons. He said to himself that he's one of the kind of players that likes to be strong in the tackle, because you're your old-fashioned central defender. But he was saying that, Ipswich is the kind of team that wants to play on the floor. And he said by playing at Arsenal, a team like that, that's something that he's very comfortable with. He's also the captain of the under-21 side. So when Lambert looks at bringing in people with leadership experience, he may be young, but I don't think that's a match for it, really. I think he comes in as injury cover for both Wolfenden and Vincent Young, in the sense that Chambers is having to cover Vincent Young. We don't know the severity of the injury, but obviously it's his Achilles problem that seems to be the issue. Wolfenden, maybe that's not as straightforward as we first thought. So he comes in there as a backup option. Personally, I feel that, we're talking about playing the ball on the floor sort of thing. He would be a good defender to come in. I don't know. Well, I presume it makes him can't play for the EFL Trophy now. I give up trying to play it.
I'll tell you what, Luke, I think he might slot in because we're going to have to start in the FA Cup first round, aren't we? Which is what? Normally November. Whether or not it's going to start early again, I don't know. So maybe he's going to get games there, maybe in those early rounds. If we stay in that long.
He said himself that he doesn't expect to come into the team straight away anyway. Obviously the performances of some of the defenders over the last couple of weeks have been pretty good. So, him having to come in. But, the fact that he has played defensive midfield as well as centre-back is a good option on a season-long loan.
Yeah, 100% it is. I seem to remember in the EFL Trophy game, he played that sort of bizarre sort of banana pass. Do you remember? And Ambrose. Yeah, Darren Ambrose said, I think he meant that.
It was a strange one.
Everyone kind of realised that he might be one on the radar, maybe. I don't know.
It was a strange one because through watching that game, I think it was Darren Ambrose kept saying, it's just how we should sign this central defender. They really should. And they were pushing it.
That was the moment,
I kind of thought to myself, he might come. So when he got announced today, I was very, very much impressed with it, really. It's a player that Arsenal rate highly and a player that, and another player probably like Ainsley Maitland-Niles at that time, a player that they rate highly to the point where he gets in the first team. So.
I tell you what, boys, I've got it all mapped out because you'll remember when we were last here together, Luke. I was raging we'd lost to teenagers. But I can only figure, don't worry, I've not had a drink tonight. I can only figure out that it was all meant to be. What's meant to be is meant to be. So what will happen is we lose to EFL Trophy Arsenal. He comes on loan. He scores the winning goal. We win the title. It was all down to McGuiness. We would never have known about him if we hadn't lost to them in the EFL Trophy. There you go.
I'll tell you what. Let's have some highlights, and then we'll get some comments, and we'll hear the rest of Luke's thoughts there. I'd love to see him partnered with Wolfie. He looks good. We've got JT. Good evening, my man. Welcome in. We've got Hawks with Luke Penning as a blue. He hates Norwich, 110%. And Adam Flatts with the hot take. We don't see KVY until the new year.
Can you imagine? That'd be a real blow, wouldn't it?
He looked good in those clips.
He
I'll be honest. The very first clip, obviously, that pass you were referring to there, Luke.
A pass.
Hell of a pass. And he meant it, which is nice.
Yes.
I would like to see him partnered with Wolfender. I think them two could be a really sort of standout partnership. And it's almost good that we now played our first team, right, Luke? Because we actually saw this guy in action against our first team. It wasn't against, juniors, if you like.
Yeah. I think that's the thing as well. He said that he'd been wanting to play first team football, his first men's loan at Ipswich this season. But he was saying that the last couple of years he was ready. I think there was an injury that let him go. But yeah, he seems very composed on the ball. I think we saw there him clearing the ball off the line, using his strength. Seemed quite. I'm not sure how tall he is. I might have to look into that. But he seemed quite. A very interesting player. And I think personally, if Wolfenden was to come back from an injury, I would love to see them two partner each other. For now, maybe NCR or someone like that, or maybe we don't know how bad KVY is, so we can't really talk about him playing with Chambers. But that is a good thing, though. You have to take that into account for someone who's got their first men's loan to have people like Stephen Ward at the club giving him 6'4".
Yeah, 6'4", huge.
We lack height in our central defence, as I've said before. So that's a big one. He did look tall.
He really did. And I just want to bring Cruncher back in. Appreciate it, Luke. It's really good to see you, my man. It really is. And I look forward to more town chats with you, my friend. Take care of yourself, Cruncher. Eyes in it, Cruncher.
What of Suffolk?
Bye, Cruncher. I've got JT. This is certainly a nice surprise. Although, is he really coming to sit on the bench? Surely we should be playing him instead of Wilson. I agree with that. I mean, Wilson, he's better than Wilson already, isn't he?
Yeah, but don't forget, Wilson did all right when he first came in at Ipswich last season. It's not just sort of
I want more than all right. I want more than all right, though.
He did okay. He did well. He got 7 out of 10 in the Football League paper for the weekend against Portman Road alongside Toto. But he got 7 out of 10 alongside Toto in the Football League paper against Portman Road. I'm still drawn back to the fact I think someone else is leaving. And it wouldn't surprise me if it was Donatian. Because we said Accrington did he go at Accrington last season?
He did. Yes, he did on loan, and then they sent the loan finished, and they didn't want him back. As far as I'm aware, I mean, there was no rumour of him returning there, similar to NCR at Bolton. Crunchy, where are you? Jeez, I mean, I know you're at the football, but how close are you going to be to the action? Are you refereeing tonight, Cruncher? How close are you?
He's on the line.
Football. You've got the drum out. The drum's out. It's electric.
We haven't heard crowds like this for months.
I think Adam Flatt's completely right. Me and Adam would have scored 7 out of 10 against the Rovers at centre half. They were bad.
I've got a few
Gareth McCauley references, Crunch. Nice. Do you see him in that sort of mould of centre half?
Where's your jam jars are singing? Mould and Tiptree.
Good jam. Good jam, to be fair.
It's good jam. Mould and Tiptree, yeah, good jam. Gareth McCauley was an international footballer. This is a young centre half. He's 19. We've only seen him in one game, haven't we? I don't know anything about him, to be honest. Only what I've read, what we see in that game. So
yeah. I'll leave you there because we're winding up now. I've got Greeny. Wilson was signed on a short-term deal for a quick fix. Looks a better option already. I completely agree with you, Greeny, and I appreciate your comment.
It's a really good signing for us. Really good signing.
The more I think about it, the more I like it. I've got to be honest. It's just it's adding more options to a manager that last year, in all honesty, struggled with options.
Yeah, exactly. Probably one of the reasons why we suddenly started floating down the table quite drastically. So it's good. We've got a kid with pedigree. We know he's comfortable on the ball. Just seen the highlights. Really good. It's really good.
We've got 80 Button saying get Cruncher on the pitch. We've got Ben Moore saying he's at Haver versus Molden. Lee Brown on Facebook, don't change a winning side, which is very true.
It's to keep the shirt culture.
Which is what refers back to my comment just a second ago. because he's not coming in to sit on the bench, you would have thought, is he?
No, you wouldn't have thought so. But again, we keep saying this. We said this Sunday. This is Ipswich. Injuries are always around the corner. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen between now and the game against Rochdale? Someone else could fall down in training. Do you know what I mean?
Well, this is it. I mean, I said tongue-in-cheek in the WhatsApp group, Wolfenden, when you said someone's going. And I just hope it isn't. I hope there's not, the whole needs to do better, then suddenly an injury. I hope it's, there's not that. But isn't it amazing how none of our insiders knew he was training with them this morning?
Yeah. I didn't see this on Twitter.
No.
Things.
They know Lambert's getting sacked, but they don't know anyone's training.
Well, talking of inside information, Martin, did we not call it a month ago? Idris will go out on loan. He'll probably go to Cambridge. And lo and behold,
he's gone to Cambridge. Shane Abbott on Facebook a few weeks ago, things were looking bleak for Town. Now things look very promising and exciting. I do agree with that. But on Idris, obviously gone to Cambridge on a season-long loan. I believe it's season-long with the option of a recall in January.
Yeah. Good
move for Idris, isn't it?
It's a good move. But again, if Richard was here, I'm sure he'd be saying he'd want to see him in that.
I'm here. He keeps cutting me off.
Would you
the drum in the background? That's why.
Not like I can do, mate.
Are you pleased Idris has gone to Cambridge, Rich, or would you like to see him floating around our bench and maybe actions coming on?
I think. Look, when we love that drum. No, look, I thought about it. It's a good move. It's a good move, isn't it? It's a good move for him because if he's not going to get minutes for us, he's going to get minutes for them. And they called it on the when we played them pre-season in the friendly. They called it. They said they'd love to have him back. And I was watching. I see Sky News this morning. Mark Bonner was saying that they've got a signing lined up, and then up he pops. But let's hope he goes there and plays every week and gets loads of football. Does well and then comes back and he can make an impact for us next season, I'd have thought.
Scored a worldie free kick, didn't he, when he was there last?
Oh, keeper.
What's going on? Is it still 0-0?
Yeah, still 0-0. Look at them colours, look.
We'll see you on Sunday for the non-league show, Cruncher. You can be our roving correspondent.
Yeah, roving reporter.
Ashley Bell, maybe after seeming bad blood in the club and the papers, they've tightened up the info coming out of the club. Well, it wasn't the papers I was talking about, but I mean, but fair play. On Idris, isn't this the right? I'll just mute you for a second. Isn't this the right move for him in terms of obviously next year you may have Emir Hughes no longer with the club out of contract. We don't know what's happening with Andre. We hope he's re-signing on his current form. Cole Skuse 1-year deal may not be here next year. Is this not the right move for him at the right time to really sort of, be ready for next season when he may start?
Yeah,
definitely.
I agree, Rich. It is a good move for him. He's comfortable there. He's been there before. Fans obviously liked him. Like we just said, he scored that worldie free kick for them before he got injured. So it's a scenario he knows already.
You'd expect Dobra to go out as well, wouldn't we? I think now.
Yeah,
I think he'll go because he struggled against Fulham, didn't he? Really, I know it was obviously he's playing against Premier League players, but I thought he really struggled in that game, and he's another one. When you think about it, I know I wanted him around the squad, but we've got a massive squad, and you just got to look at that midfield. We've got so many players, and he's not even gonna get on the bench. So it's best for him to go out.
Rovers, did he? Didn't feature there, Rick. So
get out and play football.
Yeah, watch his space maybe later in the week. We might hear something.
Yeah, and obviously Corey and Dubber might be the player going out on loan as well. If now this player's come in because he needs regular game time, and regular game time is the answer. I've got JT. Got to give him and the club credit. That's Paul Lambert. That is for a fantastic signing. JT really rates it, and if JT rates it, I'm on board with it. I'll tell you that much. Adam Flats, savour it, Cruncher. Might the only live football you see for a while.
Yeah.
And Johnny Duncan, we should be using the excuse wage to keep Andre, which is spot on. But we'll make way now, I think, for Boris Johnson to come and say his piece. He will probably big up Talking Town because he's probably a big Talking Town fan, probably.
Downing Street.
He is. That's why it'll be late. If it's late, that's why it's late. I'm telling you now. But we're done. We'll be back on Saturday for the Rochdale game. I've got Davis and Downs, the big, the next best things since Dozell and Downs. We've got Davis and Downs on Saturday, and then us three, not these three, I'm included in that, are back on Sunday. So
see you then.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the YouTube, and we'll.
Hey, mate, we've got a big announcement tomorrow.
Oh, we have, yeah. Sirens.
12 o'clock on Twitter. We'll be announcing something special.
We certainly will. Yes, we certainly will. But with love, with care, from my family to yours, look after yourselves.